so probably it's okay. We just start recording. I see that there is a lot of guys under offer, so whoever it's not me, if he can write his name, that we know who we're speaking with, it will be great. Mehdi, Yoav, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I will start. It's 8:30. So hello, everyone. Welcome to Galcon+sentek webinar. My name is Ofer Epstein, and I am the APAC Territory Manager of Galcon. I'm very happy to see that we have customer, distributor, and professional connected to our webinar. It's a very big greeting to all. Today, we will have an introductory presentation about our new GSI Pro and Galileo Cloud controller, sentek Probe, and the integration between them. And this complete solution for irrigation management. Later on, we're planning to do a more specific webinar on each product. It is very important initiative for us in this time of pandemic to do everything possible to maintain and share knowledge and technical experience of our product and application in the field with our customer and distributor. By having the exact controller and probe, you will manage the precise amount of water and nutrient direct to the root of the plant. In this panel, I am together with my colleague from Galcon team, Yoav Tregerman, our agriculture sector manager, who will carry out the presentation from our side. Also, will present from the sentek team, Rob Guy, sentek marketing and sales manager, and Mehdi Zaboli, sentek sales manager. The presentation will last for approximately 1 hour and it will be recorded. The presentation will be available through a link that we will send a few days after the webinar. You will find a question and answer icon at the bottom of your screen. You can write your question during the presentation and we will send you for all the participants a file with all the question and our answer in a few days. At the end of the presentation, we will have around 10 minutes question time and we will answer you accordingly. You must raise your hand by clicking on the reaction icon so that I can give you the option to ask either us, Galcon, or sentek the question you want. We invite you to stay in connect with Galcon and sentek and follow us through our social media account on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. We hope to be able to count on the participation of all of you again on future occasion. Now, if I will leave you with Yoav. Yoav, please go ahead and I will give you the floor. Thank you very much to all. Yoav, you're on mute.
Sorry, now it's good. My name is Yoav Tregerman. I'm leading the marketing agriculture side in Galcon. As you know, Galcon is divided to two major sectors. One is the gardening and one is the agriculture. So everything related to agriculture is under my responsibility, the commercial one. So I would like to start with a general presentation of our Galileo, which is our flag product for irrigation and irrigation control integrated with Galcon sensors. So okay, you can see my presentation. Okay, great. So okay, so the Galileo cloud is actually the old Galileo infrastructure of controller with the same software and programming. but we've upgraded the CPU that has the capabilities of transferring the information to the cloud and increase the accessibility and control options of the controller from remote. It's done by transferring all the information of the controller to the Galileo cloud. And from there, you can control it from tablet, from mobile application, or from your PC, a laptop, PC, or whatever. This is the higher level, but from if we look on actual, just a second. We are also controlling the field. We control the valves in the field by radio system or by cable, 2-wire cable. We're controlling the irrigation head components, any component like the filters, the dosing systems, main valve, any hydraulic element we are controlling and monitoring. The connection to the actual controller is done by a 4G modem. You can put SIM card, or if you have LAN in the site, you can use LAN with cable or with Wi-Fi. And we also have Bluetooth option when the internet is down, so you can have limited access to the controller, do basic operations, so you always can connect to the controller even if the network is down. The Galileo is a high-end capability controller, meaning we can do like it's a dream bringer, because you can do anything you would like in terms of irrigations. It controls multi-mainline and mainline hierarchy. You know, you can open mainlines by order that and specific condition that will keep your system, hydraulic system, healthy and without pressure up and downs. You can control your water delivery and distribution system, meaning we can control the water sources, the main lines, the pump houses, and everything related to the project. We can control multiply pump houses that each one can control, can be up to 8 pumps, and decide what is the are we controlling it, meaning by pressure or by flow. Each pump house separately, independently. The same is the filter station. We can control each filter station and have the relationship between the filter station and the main line they are serving, and decide about the strategy of operation. Of course, we can control sprinklers and greenhouse pulse irrigation and the water source, as already mentioned. In general, the numbers are now very high, but we can go even higher because the actual ability is still building. But I think 50 main lines and 200 valves, 200 irrigation program covers all the ability or necessity or what is necessary for the project. As you can, just a second. This is a general look of the controller. This is the CPU, the SOM, and we have 8 output slots. This is the protection for the slots, for the lightning protection. And here we have 4 output slots with different setups. It can be digital in and digital out, analog in or another digital out. Or for DC, we have up to each slot 8 outputs and 8 inputs. We have a smaller scale controller that is the Galileo W, which is with 4 slots, and the WEX and the WEX-X are with 8 slots. We can connect to a weather station through API or locally, of course. We can connect to a lot of RTU systems, our RTU, but to a lot of RTUs, and or single cable, 2-wire cable. And each RTU can be connected to different sensors, 4 to 20, 0 to 5 volt, or 0 to 10 volt. This is the general description of the SOM. This is the CPU, and it's the cellular card connectors for the Wi-Fi and internet, the USB and connection for other modules via 485 and Modbus. We have battery for backup and very powerful SOM. This is how the overview of the controller, meaning this is your landing page. Here we can see which project is connected and to which controller. Each project can contain as much as any number of controllers. This is the status of the programs, the irrigation program, which user is logged in. You can change the language, put the controller on pause, and this is the time and date of the local controller. Even if you are abroad, you will see the correct time of the local time of the controller. And this is the navigation panel, main menu. Right now we see the picture of the dashboard, and it's dynamic setup. You can change and place any tile that you want, and we all the time increasing and adjusting the abilities of any feature in the controller. We are very open-minded and listening to our needs and customers that like to know and have additional abilities. So we are very cooperative. This is what I spoke about the dashboard. It's custom-made. Each user can adjust his own what you want to see, if it's the pump station or the water meter, and the order of each element can be adjusted and arranged as each one needs or feels. Of course, we have a live calendar. It's for today and tomorrow forecast. If you are currently looking on a controller, it will show you even if it's irrigating, fertigating, or the program has alarm. The old controller all our approach is a bit different from the regular irrigation controller. We believe in what we call bottom up, and we believe from top down, meaning we look from above. What is the most important thing is the crop. So we know to divide the plots, and then the irrigation program, and then the valve that are related to a crop. So if we want to take care of one crop, we don't need to go through every valve and fix the irrigation program. So this is also the approach of the map, meaning it's a dynamic map. The color of the plots are changed according to the status. This is the idle situation. It will turn blue when irrigating, purple when it's fertigating, and it will be turned red if there are any alarms. You can present the map on a live map from Google, or make your own hydraulic scheme and diagram and put any element that you own there in the project. It will also change the color according to the status. If it's blue, it's working. Red, it will be alarmed. Of course, the position of the SenTek sensor also is on the map, and with a click of a button on the sensor, you will go to the Irimax Live platform, and you can, it's a strong connection between the sensor and the control. You can also set up your RTU system or any other element, hydraulic element. The graph model, we can have a customized graph for each sensor or hydraulic element, valve, filters. Also, you can combine your SenTek probes with plant sensors together on the same graph. The payment is done automatically through the user interface in the controller. We have dynamic reports. Dynamic reports meaning you can make your own report, decide the frequency of the report, and it can be also sent automatically to your email. If you like water consumption, weekly water consumption according to plots, according to crop or valve, you are able to do it, and it will be automatically generated and sent to your email. Of course, we fully integrated with SenTek, and you can see the Irimax Live inside the platform of the Galileo, so you can always, you don't need to travel between two different applications, and you can do all the work from one application of the Galileo. The connection to your probe is also very easy. It's done by generating a string in your Irimax Live platform, and then you program it in the Galileo and just copy paste, and you have the Irimax Live in your Galileo platform. This is case study for one of our first project. Now we have quite a few already running, and this is nice project. 1,000 dunam, it's 100 hectare. I will show it in a second. I will show the live. So if we look on the maps of this project, this is the case study I just presented. It takes a few seconds for the information to arrive, and you can see which element is currently working. And I can go from any element and see the status, and also have link from any element on the map to the setup or the information page of that element that was pressed. So the live maps is a very strong tool. This is the map status. This grower didn't drew the plot, so there is no actual plots. He preferred to put elements on the map, but if you will do the plot, then you can see also the color of the plot. The quality of the drawing is dependent on the client, but here we can see where there is alarms or water meter running, and just nice view. This is 20 irrigation, and so it's and we wanted to put everything on one screen. Again, this is how the client wants, but he can do you can do hierarchy in the maps also, so you can go from crop to plot and to irrigation block. You don't need to see everything in one map. As I said earlier, that each user decide, each user, not each client, each controller, each user decides his own way of looking on the project. And this is the weather service by API. You can see the pump station that is running currently around 100 cubic of water, according to the program that are running. We see there are only 3 running, but today it already irrigated 12,000.
Yoav, you're not sharing the project.
Oh, sorry.
And don't forget as well, you need to stick on the GSI Pro.
Oh. Let's see. Now you can see. Ofer, you can see now the project.
Yeah, now we can see the project.
Okay, so this is again, I will start again. This is the dashboard. And you can see all the elements according to the user, how the user decided to see them. I can edit, I can move just to show you that you can arrange the way you like the things. Service information, water quota management, the pump station, and the irrigation total according to the valves. Here we have 123 valve according to the project. You can see the red color is due to higher irrigation than planned. So in this project, we have a lot of manual operations. So some valves are irrigated more than the plan, so you can see red. But if the plan and the actual was the same, then you can see the blue color. And you can see the status of the program. And if I will go, I can go from any place to. Now we can see the maps. As I showed earlier, this is the hydraulic scheme. It's dense because it's a lot of elements, or you can saw it as a map. So this is another option to view. and each element is connected dynamically, and you can go to any water meter, any valve. If you're clicking, for example, valve, then you will go to the valve information. I don't have enough time, but I could show some reports. This is last day irrigation. So you can see by the last day, according to plots, or if you open it, according to valve in the plot, what was the actual performance. As you can see, it's irrigating a bit more than the calculated, the required, so it's in red color. Everything is dynamic and real online situation. This is the Galileo, and I will put the GSI, just I have 5 minutes. So the GSI Pro controller is our small controller. It can handle 2 irrigation heads. It's always connected to the internet with SIM card or with LAN. Analog inputs, ECPH, perfect ECPH of performance with the same module that is the Galileo is doing. Of course, it's connected to the internet. And we have the application, it's very friendly, very easy to use, but very high capability controller. It's small and naughty, like I call him. 2 full irrigation head, and each head filter flushing according to DP, according to time, quantity, ECPH, 8 fertigation programs, analog input sensors, and even I haven't spoke about it in the Galileo because I had no time, but there is a huge conditional option, conditional logical condition that you can decide about any element action resulting action or sensing from another sensor, operation, program, or valve. So you can trigger any combination of action that you like with the controller. It can control up to 24 valves, ECPH, filter flushing. We can have one-way radio with it, up to 24 units, of course. 24 valves, sorry, not 24 units. We have the irrigation program, and it can be DC, it can be AC. It's also integrated with SenTek on the web interface. I'll just do it quick because I'm running out of time. So every irrigation head is controlled. We can control the pump, filters, and the dosing center. Of course, action related to water meter, meaning high flow and low flow alarms, and connected to the field with RTU or wires. This is the input and outputs, and this is how the web interface looks like in the cellular application. You see only one head, but it's very easy to understand and operate. If you click on the valve, it will open. If you click it again, it closes. It's very easy to use software. Very friendly user. And of course, there are reports and action that you can monitor your logging for any action done in the controller. I just wanted to see if there is what is very unique in the GSI is that you can have influence of your project, of all your controllers in the project. In the click of a button, you can have a macro decision about all the controller, and you can open, close, change the amount of water in many controllers with one click. Because we have the location of the controller on the map. This is a bit extensive. This is a project irrigating ECPH for cucumbers in Chile, and control of the fertigation system with the GSI is done perfectly. I think, Ofer, you can take the lead.
Okay, so Yoav, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And Mehdi, the floor is yours.
Yes, thanks, Ofer, and thanks, Yoav. Share my screen. Okay, just confirming you guys have my screen. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we have.
Excellent.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks for the opportunity and the time given to present SenTek products and the integration possibility with Galcon. It's a pleasure that we are doing this project together, and it's great opportunities ahead. My name is Mehdi Zaboli. I look after the sales and marketing in Australia and New Zealand. My colleague and my boss, Robert Guy, also meant to be here as well, but had a bit of a difficulty in terms of connecting to the internet, so he passed his apology. Just a quick overview about who we are as a SenTek. So again, very brief. I don't really want to spend too much time here. So again, we started in Adelaide in South Australia about 30 years ago. Adelaide-based company, but exporting to most of the countries in the world. In terms of the retailers, we have about almost 68 retailers in Australia. And dealers, as well as over 650 across the globe. So in terms of potentials of integration between the Galcon products as well as the SenTek products, there is a huge area and huge opportunities ahead, and with the vast network that we have as well as the Galcon has. So I'm sure that we can do a lot of good projects hand in hand across the globe. In terms of the areas that we're working, again, the probes that we manufacture, as well as the weather station and weather forecast and satellite imageries, everything are available through our platform ERMAX. And as you have said earlier on, so that is also integratable and can be passed on and seen in the dashboard of the Galcon new Galcon products, irrigation controllers, GSI Pro, and Galileo Cloud, of course. And in all of those projects, so it can be transferred to those two platforms, as I mentioned, in terms of landscape areas, in terms of agriculture, research, and environmental projects that we run. But in terms of the landscaping environmental project, that's Galcon has got quite a strong presence in Australia and globally, as well as in terms of agriculture, that we are trying to enhance that one to become a bit more in Asia Pacific as well as the rest of the world. But only talking about my domain of influence, and we are working closely with the different farmers and growers around the area to integrate them together, and we are getting some good results as well. Now, in terms of products, I will be very brief about what they are, because the synergies and the integration is the main point of this presentation. We have a number of different types or families of the probes. Some of them are a drill and drop, which are the easy ones, so quick installation, quick extraction, and they can go anywhere between 10 centimeters to 120 centimeters, but normally it's about 30, 60, 90, 120 centimeters. And anything shorter than that or longer than that, then we have a different solutions. One of which will be the Enviro scans. So the Enviro scans are the one that it's like logos, and the one that you see on the left-hand side of the screen. This can be installed anywhere between 50 centimeters to about 40 meters, which is the longest one that we have installed so far, but it doesn't restrict the depths of the probe, and it can go much more longer than that. And different sensors can also be used in the probes as well. So again, that doesn't matter in relation to the type of the probe, drill and drop or Enviro scan, or the other types that we will be discussing soon. Again, they can be moisture and temperature, as well as can be moisture, temperature, and the salinity. And we are working on the nitrogen sensor as well. Again, that's on the pipeline, is not out yet, but that will be out as well. And that will be another sensor that we can use in our probes as well. But at this stage, as we speak, we do have 3 types of sensors that can be used in these probes. And of course, this information and data can be sent to different platforms of the Galcon products for a further interpretation, for a further usage, and helping with the decision-making at the farm levels, as well as in the different corporate levels if required. Then we will talk about in the different depths of it. So again, in the different crops, in the different products, in the different situations, we offer different types of the probes and different length of them as well. Again, as I said, 30, 60, 90, and 120 are the classics that we manufacture in a commercial scale. And they can be in the orchard, it can be in the grains, it can be in the vegetable and the leafy crops, could be in the glass houses, and could be in completely dry land farming as well. But when you want to know that what sort of a moisture, electrical conductivity, ionic content, as well as the temperature in the soil, so it does affect, for example, in the potatoes, in onions, and so on. So I'm not spending too much time on the applications of the probes. Move on to the next types. Again, Bluetooth probes, again, is another different types of the drill and drop family probes that they don't have any DTU, so the data transfer system. So again, it uses the mobile phone of the user as the platform to send the information. And the information of this probe, also the same as any other products of CENTEK, can be integrated with the Galcon products and can be transferred to the dashboard. Diviner 2000 is another type that, and this is the older model, and but it still is usable by a lot of the researchers. The information of the Diviner, it's only going to the desktop, but again, if you would like, to get this information to the dashboard of a CENTEK product, my apology, to the dashboard of the Galcon products, Galileo Cloud or GSI Pro, it also can be done as well, but then just needs integration from the desktop to the live, which is not too difficult to do, and we can organize and facilitate that one as well. In terms of the telemetry that we use, different types of probes have a different types of telemetries. Again, of course, it's different from country to country based on the network system and how they connect. For example, on the top right corner, we have an all-in-one or a compact unit that is can be connected to the EnviroScan, which is the thicker one, and that the deeper one, or can be connected to the normal drill and drop family. And right next to that one, so you can see the internal bit that it's got, including the modem, including the batteries, including everything that is required in the remote area. And again, if there is any reception, then we do have a satellite options as well in terms of the telemetry. And again, all of this information from all different types of DTUs, data transfer system, can be easily transferred via the API key to the Galcon products. The interesting part of the data that you will getting is actually on the right-hand side of the page, and down the bottom, you see the different types of sensors and the resolutions or the accuracy of the data. Again, in terms of moisture and where the mouse is hovering right now. So again, moisture, salinity, and the temperature. That shows that how accurate are the numbers in terms of the getting from the soil. Again, in the drill and drop family, they're immediate readings, so you don't need to wait for 2 or 3 weeks of settlement of the slurry around the probes. But with the EnviroScan, again, it needs to be slurried and needs to be installed in some situation, and some of them can be just put in the normal cap, installation tubes. And that is available, the information from the soil and from the probe, and it's accurate as well. So you don't need to wait for 2 or 3 weeks of the settlement of the slurry around the probe, so it can be accurate. The probes some of the probes, especially the multi, can be connected to the weather stations. And later on during this presentation, I show you that how it looks like in the ERIMAX, and also how it looks like from ERIMAX into the GSI Pro dashboard. That you can, by having a look at one dashboard of the Galcon, let's say GSI Pro, for example, in this instance, then you have access to your weather station, then you have access to your weather forecast, then you have access to your satellite imagery, then you have access to all of the information that's coming from the probe, as well as you have access to all of the information from the different irrigation heads, different pumps, and all the other setups that you have within your operation and the projects. In terms of the software that we have that supports the data, there are 2 different types: ERIMAX Live, which is the online and cloud-based platform, which is almost 99% of our customers are using ERIMAX Live. Again, in terms of ERIMAX Desktop, if we don't really have a ERIMAX Live, or you don't want to have, or you have a number of different sites that for research and development purposes, you need to have access, and then all of the information needs to go into your computer. And sometimes you don't really need to have access to internet, but you want to have access to data, then we do have an ERIMAX Desktop as well, that it can be supplied to the customers if they need to. And information from the ERIMAX Desktop, as well as the other instrument that I showed you earlier on the bottom right corner, the Diviner. So again, this information from this probe will be stored in ERIMAX Desktop, which is the right-hand side of the screen. And from ERIMAX Desktop, it's just a matter of very, very simple export from the Emacs desktop and then importing into live, and then from live into through the API key going to the Galcon controllers. In terms of the criteria that we measure at this stage as we speak, without that nitrogen sensor is a moisture, as you see down the bottom, which is the summed graph, just a screenshot of what you see in the Emacs platform. The middle one is the salinity or the volumetric ion content. And that can also be adjusted and modified to be read as the EC, which you can see you can use later on in the Galcon and irrigation controllers, as well as the temperature, of course. And that temperature, for example, just very quickly going through this one, you see a number of different lines: black, red, blue, orange, green, and pink. Each different one of these ones represent one sensor, and each one of them are stacked on top of each other. From top to bottom, you're seeing for example, the first one, the black one, looking at the 5 centimeter, the red one looking at the 15 centimeter, and then the intervals of 10 centimeters in between each sensor, going all the way. So regardless of the depths, so we can do it 10 centimeters each. It can be shorter than that, but it can be a bigger gap in between. Now, in terms of the outputs of the equipment SenTek produce and how they can integrate with the Galcon product as well as other products on the market. So we have a different outputs. As you can see on the left-hand side, there are some generic ones, SDI12. We do have a RS232 and RS485, which is Modbus. Again, that's easily can be connected as a wiring into the Galcon controllers, as well as through the API key, which is the easiest way, to do that. And then everything from your account will be going to the Galcon cloud account, so it's GSI Pro or the Galileo account, and you can take it from there. And in terms of data transmission units, again, depending on whereabouts in the world you are. So again, different units are offered. For example, in Australia, we use 3G, 4G, and the next G, and sometimes satellite. But again, we are selling everywhere in the world. And then GPRS, for example, is a very popular one. Next G is a popular one. And in some part of the world, then they have a limited network capacities. Then we do have other options as well. In terms of how it looks like the SenTek information or SenTek probes information, how it looks like in the Galileo dashboard, as you can see on the left-hand side of the screen. So again, where the arrow shows right here. So again, it's probably you can't read that, but it's a SenTek Emacs again. So that's integrated through the API key, came to the dashboard of the Galileo. And also on the GSI Pro, also the same, the dashboard. Now you can see the SenTek product, and later on I also show you how they are integrated and brought together in the same dashboard that you can see. And it's not just only seeing; it's also now you have the capacity to edit and to maneuver around and then do different things in your Emacs through the dashboard of Galcon products and Galcon controllers. So you do have a full control. It's not just to see and read only, but also control as well and manage. For example, this one, it's a Meteor Blue. It's a weather forecast that belong to one of the customers of ours that's based in South Africa. It's a Pepsi in South Africa that we're running some trial with. And we do have a permission, to share this one here as well. So this is coming directly from the dashboard of the GSI Pro, and you can see there are a number of the parameters that it's can be seen on the dashboard. So in terms of temperature, rainfall, and then all of these ones also now you can pick whichever you want, and then you can place a ruler and then understand and exactly measure that how much you gained, how much you lost. And also there are some functionalities within the Emacs that actually, rather than you go individually and then pick where you lost water, where you gained water, where is the fertilizer, how's they moving, then you can actually control it from this dashboard, and then you can adjust it and then feed it back into the GSI Pro or Galileo Cloud. and then you can control your irrigation as well as your fertigation based on the numbers that you're getting from these graphs. And in terms of the accuracy of the information, earlier on I touched very briefly about how it's measured and what are the accuracies and the numbers looks like. Saying that again, SenTek probes are the #1 in terms of the scientific probes in the world. So again, in terms of accuracy, there is no one above the SenTek products. So again, if you want accuracy, you want quality, again, you definitely SenTek is one of the ones that you want to look into for the users of the Galcon products that are looking into getting your probes. So SenTek is definitely something that we are proud of and we would recommend. Now, in terms of support and the commitments that we have towards the customers, which Galcon customers also will be eventually our customers in a way. So yeah, we are owned by the Galcon. So again, your customers are our customers, and we deal with the whatever situation that comes up almost straight away. We have account managers for every single account holder, and warranty on the products. Normally, it goes for 2 years. For some products, for the electronics and for the ones that is out of our control, then again, we only pass on the warranty that is being done by the manufacturer. Repair services and spare parts is available in the 3 different offices that we have across the world. And then normally they get sent over in Australia for if they need to be like actual repair by our technician. In terms of training and support, we do provide training, interpretation support in terms of how to purchase in the web store, as well as how to interpret the data in the ERMX. And we do have a research and development department that has been going on for 25, 30 years since the start of the SenTek, and it has never stopped. And just we keep feeding into the ERMX live and ERMS desktop. So again, in terms of fine-tuning the information that you're getting from the probes. So the more accurate data you get, the better interpretation you get from your probes and from your sensors, then you can control the irrigation and the fertigation much better and wiser and more economic, I suppose. In terms of the data, everything is backed up in the cloud, and all information is completely confidential. It stays between the administration or the account manager as well as the client. It doesn't get shared anywhere unless the client wants to share it. And one of the issues here in terms of sharing the API key with a third party, in this instant, let's say GSI Pro, then that's the responsibility of the account holder. So again, if you're an account holder and you have many users, you want to make sure that only the information about that specific user is going to and integrating into GSI or the Galileo. And you don't want to share all of your information, all of your data into that. But again, there are the fine information and fine tuning of the technical part of it that we will get into it once the customer would like to go on that path. In a second, we will be visiting the dashboard of the GSI Pro and seeing that how it looks like in live in action. But just before we get there, so just wondering if there is any question, and from here onward, I'll pass it to Offer as well, not to facilitate the rest of it. But again, if there is any question, I'm here to answer, and Yoav also here to take any question as well.
Guys, you have any question to ask us, either Galcon or SenTek? Okay, Mehdi, you want to see how you log in from the GSI to the EVMAX?
Yes.
Okay,
So you're still having my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just quickly going to GSI website. Go in. Okay, so what you see, I'll have to put this one down. Sure. Yeah. All right. Now I'm in the GSI, the demo live dashboard, and there are, as you can see, there are 4 different GSIs here. So the second one is the one that I've connected through the API key between the CENTEK and the GSI Pro, but the others doesn't have it. So just before I go to the one that is already connected, I show you that how it looks like when it's not connected, for example. So if as soon as I press on one of the demos, for example, the last one, so the number of the irrigation heads comes up, as well as like my interest is right there in top ribbon here. So again, you don't see anything about the CENTEK, anything. And if you want to do that, normally you go to settings and then unit settings. I think it's general. Yeah, and then down here, it gives you option of CENTEK. So again, if you click on that one, I'm just going to do it like just to show you, just click on the CENTEK, then it asks you for the key, API key. Okay, so just keep that one in mind. So now I'm going to quickly show you that how it looks like on the Irmax and Irmax Live end. So how easy it is, to get a key to transfer it over to GSI Pro, for example, or Galileo. Is exactly the same, exactly the same. Let's say go home and go, for example, to Pepsi. Not this one. South Africa, and just go to their account. Press on that little white band on the top right, and then go to settings. And right down the bottom, as soon as I press setting, this page comes up with some of the information, but right at the bottom, and that's exactly the same for every single user. So once you go to your setting, if you're account holder, down the bottom here, so where you can see on the bottom left corner, where it says API key. So I just press clear. So if I want to create the API key to transfer all of my information from CENTEK or from the Irmax Live to go to Galcon products, controllers, then yeah, very easy. Simply just press create, and then a key comes up, a number of the series of the words and the letters. So again, you copy paste this one. I'm not going to do it right now, but again, it's as simple as that one. So just copy paste this one from here, and then use my down. GSI. I open too many. Yeah, if you remember, we were in the very last one on the right. So this one wasn't connected to CENTEK probes. We want to go to settings and then general and then CENTEK, and then we get the API key here. So we just copy pasted from the Irmax Live, we put it here, and then we press save. As soon as you press save, and then all the information will be coming to this page here. And the one that is already been done is this one, I believe. Okay, so this one is already done. So the connection, the API connection between the Irmax Live and the GSI Pro is already done. So if it's done, as soon as you press on that one, CENTEK is already appears here. So where my mouse is again, so I just quickly click on that one, and you will see everything that exactly as you can see in the Irmax Live. So in this case, for example, again, that's a PepsiCo South Africa. So if I go back to Irmax where I was before, and just clean this one up. No, we don't want to do that. And then we go to loggers folder. That was based on the map. So again, that's exactly how it looks like in Irmax. And if you want to transfer this one, go to GSI, then you have exactly the same thing here as well. So all of these ones, they're showing that it's a probe, for example. And then if you just one single click, it shows you that, for example, this specific one then 10 minutes ago was updated. And if you want to see what's going on in there, for example, it shows, for example, Stephen Soon, which is the weather forecast. This is not a probe, but we try to find a probe now. Maybe go with the thumbnails, go to loggers, let's say this one. And I'm not in the Irmax. So again, I'm operating Irmax from the dashboard of the GSI Pro. That's a full function. Everything that you want to do, you can do from here. Again, all of these budget lines, for example, you know, that this line in blue, green, yellow, it's everything that is being done by the customer. So again, I'm not going to change it. But if I need to, I can do it here, and I can adjust everything as I can do easily in the Irmax Live as well. Again, the same as the previous one. For example, in this instance, this is sensors per depths of the probe. For example, in this instance, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sensors. So this is a 60 centimeter drill and drop, and I know because I've sent it through to them. Again, each one of these layers indicating a certain sensor in a certain depth of the soil, and the one below this one, again, this is with different colors. This is the summary of all of those sensors with the one line that, you know, you can see that with one look rather than looking at every single individual one. And all of the functionalities here as well. For example, if you want to have a look at the graph, earlier on I was talking about the placing a ruler, for example, to measure that what was the difference between the irrigation before and after irrigation. I can do it here. You can do the 2D imaging, so finding out that, you know, how the water is transferring between the two different sensors or number of different sensors. Again, in terms of adjusting the data and extracting the information from here, and then making a report to, let's say it's a corporate farmer, and then you need to make a report on all of the irrigation and the fertigation and the weathers and everything and the production on your operation. Everything can be done through the dashboard of the GSI Pro or Galileo Cloud. Getting information from the probe, getting information from your fertigation and the pumps and everything that connected to that controller, and then be sent back to the client. And also, for example, I just make a quick look at this one that you're looking at is showing that between July 2021 up until December 2021. Okay, so if we want to narrow it down, for example, having a look at, let's say, between 18th of October and the 25th of October. So what happened there? Just simply double click on the graph and it just zooms in. Just double click again, it zooms in. Double click again, zooms in. So I'm just keep looking at, for example, a specific date. For example, there was a one irrigation event or rainfall event. So it could be either of those ones. If I want to know that how much water I gained between these two irrigation, I just quickly place a ruler. Again, I'm showing the full functionality of the Irmax Live in the GSI. Again, it's just for a practice run. So just before the irrigation event, I just put the ruler here, and then one right after, maybe here. Okay, so you see lots of numbers here, but pretty much each color coded figure is belong to that sensor. If it's black, for that top one, if it's red, for the second one, and so on. For example, in the very top layer, just before the irrigation, before and after this irrigation, we gained 6.74 millimeters of the water in that layer of the soil. If you go a little bit lower, you see that, well, the water penetrated, but not fully. For example, in the second layer, you gained about 6.06 millimeter of the water, and then going down 5.6, 5.5, 2.69, and so on. Again, if you don't want to, you've done with that one and then you want to clear it up, you just click on that one and then it goes away. And in terms of how accurate what time frame you want to see in the data, also you can control it from here as well. For example, you want to see last 60 days. Just click on that one. That shows you the last 60 days of whatever happened in that area. This graph is only showing you the soil water content, but it also can show you the temperature as well as the salinity or the EC of the soil in the different depths. But this is a specific client didn't choose to do so, and I'm not going to change it. But there are other loggers that I can show you that's how it can be done and how it looks like. But at this stage, I think I'm going a little bit too detailed. So most likely I will pass it on to Ofer, and Ofer would be emceeing the rest of the session, if you don't mind, Ofer.
Okay, thank you, Mehdi. Guys, so I just want to know if you have more questions.
There is one question, Ofer. There is one question. One question, how many probes to be used in one block?
As many as you like.
Yeah, of course.
As many as you like.
This is our side, but generally, what is your recommendation, Mehdi, for installing sensors?
Okay, look, put it this way, like you don't really need to overkill it. So again, you don't need too many probes if you don't need to, as long as it gives you indication of what's going on in the soil, and based on that information, then you can make an irrigation and fertigation decision. So for that reason, so we say that normally try to zone it. Like let's say each one of the zones that are similar to each other, then you adjust the irrigation and fertigation based on that zoning, as well as how much, of course, fertilizer has been used in the past in the paddock. So you have a bit of a history about that site where you are going to insert or install the probes. Considering that what you know about that site in the past few years and what you do know now, then you can make a follow-up decision. So for that reason, we would say try to at least allocate one probe per zone. If you want to make sure that all of the information that you're getting from the first probe is correct, but you just want to have like a checkpoint, then you can put 2 probes in there. And again, those 2 probes kind of like a going hand in hand and then supporting each other's data. And you can see it yourself. Again, this is nothing that we can manipulate or do anything about it. That's information. That's a soil sensor. So again, everything coming from that site, the more probes you put in there, it is good for us, so we can sell more, of course. But again, at the end of the day, it's about the pockets of the producer and the grower, that how many of them they want in the paddocks. So my very short answer would be 1 probe per zone.
Okay, thank you, Mehdi. Guys, do you have any more questions you would like to ask Yoav or Mehdi? You can either write it down on the Q&A or raise your hands or write it to text in the chat icon, or raise your hand or write for us in the Q&A. We'll be more than happy to answer you. Okay, so guys, if not, I would like to thank you all for participating in this webinar. I would like to say a great thank you for Yoav and for Mehdi to provide us all the information. And we would like to do for you guys more and more webinar. We can go more and go into and deep into more technical details, either in SenTek or either in the Galileo Cloud or in the GSI Pro. We would like to receive some feedback for you. If you want to have more webinar from us, we will be more than happy to do it for you. Please let us know, and we'll be see you all in the next webinar. If you have more questions, you can either write it down and send it to my email. I will just write it down just write down here my email in the chat. So if somebody want to send some question, they can send it to us, and we will answer all of you. As well, we will send you later on the recorded webinar. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, and we'll hope to see you in the next webinar. Bye.
Thank
and
you very
guys.
much.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much, Ofer, and thanks everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Mary. Thanks
Thanks,
you all.
Mehdi. You're amazing.
Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Bye.